Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining. This is Eric with My Glide Rides, and hey, got one question to ask you. Are you ready? Are you ready for your next ride? You ask yourself, well, of course I am. What do you mean, are you ready? But are you really? So in this video, we're going to be discussing, are you really ready for your next ride? So stick around. We're going to go out to the garage. We're going to see what I'm talking about, and then you'll ask yourself, am I ready? So, are you? Let's go. All right, so guys, we are out here in the garage again. Thank you for joining me. So the question that I ask you is, are you ready? Are you ready for your next ride? This discussion is going to be about a trauma kit that you should, every one of you should have in your bike someplace, somewhere. So I'm going to pull mine out and we'll go through it and I'll show you what's in it. And it is a nice and cool, balmy 26 degrees outside, so I've got the garage door shut. I had the heater on in here for just a little bit, and I got it up to about 60, but I still see a little bit of my breath. But anyway, that's beside note. So let's pull this out. Again, we keep our trauma kits in the high side of the bike, and when you say high side, Eric, what do you mean? When it's on this jiffy stand, leaning left, this saddlebag will be the highest bag. That way, if we do run up on the scene, everybody knows where it's at. Everybody in our club rides with one in there, but I'll show you what's in mine. I carry a little extra stuff just due to the firefighter EMT background that I have. And anyway, let's go grab it and we'll take a look at it. All right, as you can see, there's mine here. Real quick grab handle. Let's go over here to the counter. All right, everyone, so here we are at the bag. So anyway, this is the brand that I got. And again, a little tip here, I ordered this off Amazon and added a few things to it. These are anywhere between $40 to $100. You can get even more elaborate, but again, you're looking at size to fit in your saddlebag. But on mine, I added a CPR mask. Everybody's seen a CPR mask. I've got some of this reusable like gauze or I call it tape. But anyway, so let's open this up. It is stuffed full. I'll tell you the stuff that I've added and then the stuff that came with the kit. All right. Hope everybody can see that. All right, so right off the bat, get the two biggest things out of the way. I added these. As you know, if you're running on a motorcycle accident, it is going to be, the trauma is going to be pretty severe. Let's hope not, but chances are it very well might. So this is a 6-inch hemorrhage control bandage. So there's one and there's two. I added those to them. To me, you can never have enough of that. All right. And let's see. Let's get into something else here. Obviously, trauma shears for cutting the pants legs, arms, sleeves, whatever. This is a nice, this came in the kit, that came in the kit, this came in the kit. It's a small roll of duct tape. Never know what you need that for. Marking times and stuff. Anyway, you might say, what is a Sharpie doing in a trauma kit? Well, if you do apply a tourniquet of that nature, you will definitely need to mark using the duct tape or on the patient's arm or leg for the first responders that are showing up of the time that you applied that tourniquet. Most crucial here, okay? We do have here lube for the nasal pharyngeal. All right, so this one here is a what they call a French, and it's a 28, which probably would fit 90% of the adults out there that you would run across. But providing, again, I'm gonna put a disclaimer up here that this is just telling you my knowledge, but by no means this is what you should do. So, But if you do you run across somebody, and hopefully they're wearing a helmet. If not, they have suffered facial trauma. This is probably might not be your best option, but a nasopharyngeal is to secure an airway by lubing it up and inserting it down through one of the nasal passages. And if they had some kind of other trauma to their throat, maybe. So anyway, I believe this came in the kit. Yes, it did. Okay, let's keep going over here. Obviously, you've got the they call it a combi pad. So it's just a rectangle shaped combi pad. You got one of those that came in the kit. Now again, this is another emergency bandage, 6-inch hemorrhagic dressing. So now you have 3 of them. That one came in the kit. Okay. This one is an entry and exit wound. Say, for instance, you have, of course, it says chest seal. Say you had a rider went off the side of the road, had a stick impale their chest. It's now pulled out. It's what they call a sucking chest wound. So air's supposed to enter in through the throat, not through the chest cavity. This be great for that anyway. This can be applied in the field and actually save their life. So that came in the kit. Okay. Let's move on to here. Here's the CAT type tourniquet. It's like a combat application. This is what like military carries in their kits. But this would wrap around, say, your arm or upper thigh if you had a severe wound to that arm or leg. You would use this stick that's in the kit to then you rotate it around, and that actually clamps down around the leg, kind of like what you've always seen a belt or something like that do. And then you secure it. Again, you apply this, and you write with this. Most crucial, okay? That came in the kit. Make sure when you get a kit, it has this in it, okay? It's worth a few extra dollars. A 10cc syringe. If you've got somebody with some sputum or I hate to say it, vomit or whatever in their mouth, you could probably suck that out to help their airway with that. That I added to the kit. Again, just another little small ace bandage that came in the kit. Of course, you got your nitrite gloves. Wouldn't hurt to put a few extra pair. They take up little space, but put these where you can readily get them first, and just make sure you're aware of them. We'll set this stuff over to the side. These are most of my bandages here. So easy fold gauze. This is 4.5 inch by 4 yards, so 12 feet long by 4 inches wide. That's a lot of bandage, but of course it's sterile and it's vacuum sealed to take up less space. That came in the kit. Triangular bandage. So people in the medical field, you hear like in emergency medicine, sling and swath. This would be great if you had like a femur or a tibia or fibia break, and you needed to attach, kind of secure this up against their body. You just kind of like a thing that wraps around your neck. Vasal gauze, you can tell that by the feel of it. Sterile with, so it's a sterile thing, but it's just like another, you can use this in conjunction. If you really had a bad wound, you don't want to stick something dry on I hate to use this word, oozing wound. You can use this kind of vasal gauze. It's like a piece of gauze impregnated with Vaseline. You could put that on the wound and then wrap the bandage on it so it doesn't stick. That came in this kit. And we got what we call 4x4s, 4 inch by 4 inch, obviously. It came with 3 of them, so 4 of them, excuse me. That came in the kit. This is obviously between this and this and this and the little small one. You've got a lot of items to help stop bleeding. And again, last but not least. All right, so you got a ton of Band-Aids, different sizes. You got, antiseptic wipes, kind of like alcohol wipes. All this came in the kit. You pray that this is all you need on an accident that you would run across. All right, and so this is another addition that I added. So, all right, this does not come in the kit, and you say, what is this? Well, it's 15% or 15 grams of glucose. So in the medical field, we usually push what we call D50 on a diabetic emergency. Let me tell you, there's a lot of people out there that do not know they're diabetics, and altered mental status would be a telltale sign. This will not hurt to give somebody. Again, this is what I will have in my kit. I might not ever use this, but me, I'm a type 2 diabetic. My sugar tends to be high, so I wouldn't need this. But like a juvenile or type 1 type diabetic that's been a diabetic all their life, their sugar tends to drop. This would come in handy. And again, guys, this doesn't have to be just for motorcycle stuff. So this is stuff that, heck, put this in your car. You know, my wife runs a little bit smaller than this. It doesn't have quite this right here, but when we ride, everybody knows, like I said, everybody knows where this is at. Everybody knows how to use this stuff. I ride with a bunch of firefighters, and police, military people. So all this is pretty well, is known how to use. But hey, hit me up in the comments if I'll put a link to some kits from Amazon in there. Really cool thing is that I was able to use my HSA card to buy this kit. So helps the health spending account through work. So really wasn't none money out of my pocket. It just, it qualified for HSA spending. So I was able to buy that, but I'll put a few links down in there. All right, guys, well, there you go. I appreciate you joining me with reviewing the trauma kit out there in the garage. I will say, get some form of a kit. You don't have to get that big of a kit, as I've got. I've even seen some bigger, but again, where you elect to put these on your bike, that's solely up to you. Just make sure everybody knows that. One little trick, some people will put like a little first aid cross somewhere on their bike, alerting bystanders probably know, where they could probably find that kit if told to do so. Always remember to make sure somebody dials 911 first before you start doing anything to that patient. Let's see what else. Definitely make sure you take some kind of local first aid or class, trauma class. A lot of those things can be found free in your area, so be sure to look for those. Be sure to check out in the comments below. I will put several links for the the trauma kit that I've got, and maybe some CPR classes, some first aid classes. I'll look up some of those, put them down there with links. And again, I'm going to throw this disclaimer back up here again. I've got training. My wife's a nurse. I've got training. This is having something readily available to you is very important. And again, what I'm telling you, the products on my kit is not necessarily what you need in yours. At least carry something small, some kind of bandages of some sort. And you can buy those tourniquets, those combat action tourniquets, separately. So throw one of those in something, wrap something small around it like a bandage. At least you have some gauze, bandages, maybe just some small stuff, but have something in your bike. Man, just be ready for that ride. So I will tell you, this is near and dear to my heart. My oldest stepson, my wife's oldest son, now 7 years ago, came in and took the dirt bike that we had bought for the younger brother, tore out down the gas line that we live on here, and about a mile, by the way the crow flies, as they say here in the South, hit a pine tree head on. Thank God he had his helmet on, and thank God somebody turned and went the opposite direction that they normally go, found him, was able to call 911, perform CPR on him. Life Flight helicopter was coming over actually to do a kind of like a PR event at the airport down the road here. So everything lined up. God's timing was perfect. He did spend some time in Grady Hospital, probably a month in ICU. He suffered a traumatic brain injury. He then spent a couple months at Shepherd Spinal Center here in Atlanta as well. He did recover. He does live out on his own, and he actually repairs medical equipment now. you know, he's got some lasting effects of the accident, but again, thank goodness that there was somebody that showed up with some kind of medical kit that assisted with some of the bleeding. So his injuries were severe, but he did overcome that. Not telling you that you will be able to save somebody with this medical kit, but man, I tell you what, you sure have a better chance of doing that if you've got one of those kits on your bike. So guys, thanks again for joining me. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. If this video has helped you, be sure to give it a super like. And man, I just wish y'all safe travels. And man, just don't take every day for granted. Just be ready to help somebody if they need it. So guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one.